Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to RSM 396. I'm going to be your instructor, and my name is Dr. Don Rockey. And before we get started, I always like to kind of introduce myself, especially since we won't ever kind of be face-to-face, since this class is a distance class. And it's always, I feel like, important to get to know who your instructor is. And since I haven't had a lot of you in the past, I thought this would be a good way to get to know me a little bit better. So what I'm going to do is just kind of give you a little bit of overview about who I am and where I've come from and my experiences. And then, again, just so you get to know me a little bit better, the person that's going to be looking over your work and giving you feedback throughout the next couple weeks. So as I said, my name is Dr. Don Rockey. This is my 18th year at Coastal. I've kind of seen a lot of growth going on at Coastal since I've been here, but I'll talk about that here in a second. Just give you a little overview. This is kind of my family in the different stages of growth. This is quite a few years ago with the group in the family portrait. Then a couple years ago, and this is Mallory, Britt, and Trey, and my wife Christine, who also teaches at Coastal. She's in the kinesiology department. This is we made a trip to New Orleans, and here we are having beignets in Jackson Square, and they all look very happy about doing that. But believe me, they were enjoying their beignets. And so we'll go here forward on this, and again, this is the whole gang. Prior to one of the hurricanes, we decided it was a good idea to go down to the beach, and while it was still calm. And Mallory is now 13, into gymnastics. Britt, my middle son, hasn't quite found his niche. He is 15 right now and just started high school. And then Trey is a senior at Soxty, as you can see, and getting ready to graduate. He's going to the University of Minnesota Morris next year. Going to try to play both football and baseball there. And my education-wise, just to give you an idea of my background, I did my undergrad at the University of Mississippi. Studied health and physical education. From there, I went to the University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill, also studied physical education, got my master's in physical education. Once I got done from there, I taught for a semester in public school because I graduated in December from North Carolina, so I was lucky enough to have the opportunity to get a job in teaching a small rural school in North Carolina. Taught 7th grade health classes, physical education, and science, and while coaching baseball. And then had the opportunity to go back to Ole Miss and work on my PhD, and kind of jumped at that opportunity. Found that really enjoyed teaching at the college level. I had the opportunity to do some of that in North Carolina, and then when my old department chair just said, would you be interested in coming back and teaching, working on your PhD? And said that sounds like a great idea. So I went back and had that opportunity. So, and that's kind of how I ended up teaching in higher ed. Is just that fluke of really started with me sending an email or sending a letter back then to my department chair, and he knew I was a good student and said that he had a place for me if I wanted to come back, and just kind of getting my business taken care of during my undergrad helped to kind of lead the path to where I am now. I kind of moved around a little bit and getting some different teaching experiences. When I graduated from Ole Miss, I had the opportunity to go to Missouri Western State College up in St. Joseph, Missouri. That was my first teaching job outside of Ole Miss. And I taught in the recreation department up there, and liked the school. St. Joseph was it was not a very nice place as far as people-wise, and so we had the opportunity to leave there and go to Texas State, At the time, it was Southwest Texas State. And actually, if you know Dr. Lane, I got to know Dr. Lane while she was working down there as a graduate of Texas State, and then she was a park ranger at one of the parks in New Braunfels, and so I got to know her there. And then went from there to small school in West Virginia. Loved Texas, but it was so far from my family. I was from Pennsylvania, my wife's from Oregon, so we had the opportunity to move back to Shepherd University, which was about an hour and a half from my parents. So we're kind of in that state where we're looking for starting a family. So we moved back and close to my parents. But then, as luck would have it, Coastal and Ole Miss both had job openings, and I always kind of figured I'd go back to Ole Miss, but I've applied at Coastal just to see if I could, maybe get an opportunity to negotiate a little bit higher salary from Ole Miss, because maybe if I had two jobs in hand, it would, could do a little negotiation. And interviewed at both places, got the offer at both places, and surprised everybody, including myself, by coming to Coastal Carolina. Coastal had just such an energy. It was a small, growing program and school and program. In fact, we weren't even a major yet when I came here. We were just as a leisure service management emphasis under physical education. And so I was lucky enough to come here and have the opportunity to build a program and start a program and be a part of starting the master's program. So it was a real blessing to have that opportunity to kind of see the growth and be a part of that growth, and really never regretted that. My original hometown, I'm originally from South Central Pennsylvania. My hometown is Carlisle, so I'll move that here so you can see on the map right there near Harrisburg, South Central part of the state. Carlisle's known for several things. The U.S. Army War College is located there, so people from all over the world come to learn from the U.S. Army, and so it was always interesting in my high school and middle school days. We'd always get new students every year, and from, like I said, all over the world coming in and learning the art of war from the Carlisle barracks. Dickinson College has one of the, I think it's the oldest school of law in the country, and small Division III school, very pretty campus, way too expensive for me or any of my family to go there, but a really good academic program. I spent many down here in the corner, many days on that baseball field growing up, as well as back behind in the football stadium of Carlisle. And then this is the kind of old county courthouse that sits in the middle of Carlisle. Pretty old historic town, founded in the 1700s. So that's a little bit about my hometown. And then the last part here is kind of a fun fact. I'd like to always throw out a fun fact to everybody. Just to back in 2015, I guess I was crazy enough to run 3 half marathons in 3 days, and each of them were in a different state. So the first day was in Idaho, and then the second day we ran in Utah, and then the third day was over there in Wyoming. And so it was, 3 days consecutive, 13.1 miles each day, and like I said, in each state. And one of the hardest things to get used to was here at Myrtle Beach, it's sea level, so oxygen's not a problem, but you got up to some of these higher elevations like Idaho and Utah and Wyoming, and it was a little bit more challenging, but always a fun thing that I can say I did. Looking forward to getting to know you throughout the semester and getting to talk to you about some of your goals and where you want to go with your career. And that's kind of what the purpose of this class is we'll talk, is to try to help you get to where you want to be. So look forward to, like I said, getting to know you and having you in the class. And have a great semester. Thanks.